Have you ever had someone talking to you who's going on a complete rant and you don't even have the chance to put in a single word? How does that make you feel? The fact that in this conversation your voice has just been essentially muted. It makes you probably want to walk away from the conversation, right? Well, when you don't slow things down within your videos, that's how you're making your viewer feel. Because the brain, it wants this space to have imagination, it wants time to process things, and it just wants time to basically breathe. And here you are trying to retention edit by speeding up the pacing of the video, thinking you're keeping the viewer's attention, when actually you're making them want to click off even more. So in this video I'm going to go over the 3 most important moments where you need to let the video breathe, and this is what's going to allow the viewer to really take in the information that you've given them and allow them to relax into your video. Okay, so first off, in your videos, you need time between impactful moments to allow the viewer to relax. And this is because, let's take for example, an action sequence in a film, right? So you have this really fast-paced sequence, and then do you see the film editor and director go, yeah, what we need to do is we're going to pause for 2 seconds and we're going to go straight into another action sequence. Then we're going to pause quickly for 2 seconds, then go into another one, and then another one. No, they don't do it like that, because when do you ever get time to process it? Now, granted, they will obviously do this for a comedic effect or to build tension during an action sequence. But technically that's not really going into a new sequence. Like, what I mean by that is they'll do, say there's 2 people in a fight against each other, they may have a quick moment where everything pauses and they just look at each other like that, or it's, you know, something along those lines. I'm sure you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyway, in terms of that, the same applies in terms of your YouTube videos with how you need to space out faster sequences. So, say now you have, let's say, a gaming montage, and you know that you've got a faster sequence coming up later in the video, say a sequence of a product, and you're showing really aesthetic shots of that. It could be a gaming keyboard or something like that that relates to gaming again. So in between those 2 moments, you really need to allow the tension to relieve so that the viewer can build up tension in their mind again towards the next fast sequence. You can think of it like this, right? If you always have what you want instantly, it's not so rewarding, is it? Say now you have your favourite dessert in the world and you really, really enjoy it. You can either have it now, or you can have it in a week's time. Which one are you going to enjoy more? You're going to enjoy the one that's in a week's time, right? And for the viewer, rewards and retention go hand in hand, because the more rewarding the video feels to the viewer, then the more you're going to maintain their attention and therefore increase retention. Now, there is a fine line to this, because obviously you can only stretch it out as much as the viewer's patience, right? So, say now you've got a younger audience that's between the, say, 10 to 15 age bracket typically, then if you're trying to stretch something out for longer, then they may end up getting pretty agitated and just want to click off. We all know what the younger kids are like nowadays with their attention spans, unfortunately. But the same video, if you give it to then, say, a middle-aged 40-year-old, then they may be perfectly comfortable with watching it, because that stretched out part that's been delayed, they're used to it and they're comfortable with waiting for that reward. The key is to make the gaps in between as long as possible before it gets too uncomfortable, but at the same time not too short to where you didn't even feel any tension. And the best way to kind of gauge this is just listen to your instincts, really, and also take on board what the viewers have to say in the comment section. You know, if you're editing for a creator or you're a creator yourself, then you're going to want to just check in on the comments, see, you know, do the viewers comment anything where they're annoyed at a particular part. Maybe they didn't get it or something along those lines that can help guide you in the right direction in terms of your pacing. Now, during impactful moments, this is where you don't want to kill off the peak human emotions that should be experienced in these parts. Now, you may end up doing this by cutting too fast because you artificially want to create more excitement for the viewer, or by adding more visual effects because you want to create more visual stimulation, or by adding overly dramatic music because you want to manufacture a sense of impact. By doing this, it's really easy to get carried away and just completely kill off any real human emotion that the viewer would have felt during these moments. Like seeing a one-of-a-kind product shown for the first time to the viewer. You know, you want the opening shot to feel like it's just bliss and it's continually played out rather than just show it for 2 seconds and cut away instantly. Of course, if that product is the main point of your video, that is. But the same goes for, you know, a charitable video. Say you've made a video where you're a creator who's helped someone in poverty and you want to make it really emotional feeling. Don't just add some cheesy, you know, violin sad music on top of it, because the chances are, if you've got to the end of the video and the viewers like really felt the build up to this and what you've done for, say, this person in poverty, then when you add this cheesy music, it's just going to kill off the impact. They probably still will feel some impact, unless your video is just terrible. But there's just really no need. And on that note, it's like, if you really felt human emotion whilst you were filming it, if you shoot the videos yourself, or whilst you were watching the footage, then trust that. Trust the fact that you felt something during it, and the audience is probably going to feel something too. You know, don't think that you need to manufacture these kind of emotions using modern editing techniques, and if you don't use that, you're falling behind or something, because that's not the case. Even with the years of progression of modern NLEs, you know, coming from old mechanical editing machines where you literally cut in tape, human emotion has never changed, even since 100 years ago, probably 1,000 years ago, and human emotion isn't changing anytime soon. So the bottom line here is, whenever you get the chance to maybe add a bit more silence into your video, or leave a shot linger longer than you normally would, take that chance, because for the viewer, adding those little moments in is going to feel a lot more rewarding to them than just making them think, oh yeah, that editor is really good and he put a lot of effort into that video. They don't care how good your editor is or how good you are at editing. All they care about is, how did the video make them feel? When an impactful moment is finished, you need time for the audience to return back to baseline, which I guess ties in nicely with my first point. So you can kind of think of the video in terms of like, when you're building up to something, there's this exponentially increasing in steepness line that's constantly going up. And when you get to the peak, then it comes back down below baseline, where it needs to gradually build up again back above baseline. If you never have these peaks and dips within your video, then it's always just going to feel flat, because there's nothing dynamic about it. It's just like, you know, all feels the same, and it's just boring old life with nothing interesting about it. So during these impactful moments, you obviously want them to be as engaging and attention grabbing as possible. But then you don't want to obviously do it in a way that's forced, where the viewer feels like, you know, you're trying to pull them over to you, and you're over here like, look at me, look what I've made, come quick, look. It's like, you don't want to do it like that. But once you've established these peaks, then you want to take the time to really let things breathe. And you can do this by, you know, slowing down the pacing of the cuts. using music that's a lot gentler and has a slower tempo to it, less beats per minute. And in general, just let things calm down so that the viewer has a chance to build back up to that baseline that I mentioned, so that they can get ready for the next interesting part you have to showcase to them. If you're able to execute these three things correctly by allowing things to slow down, then you'll actually speed up time for the viewer, because you know what they say, time flies by when you're having fun, right? And you'll finally allow them to actually absorb everything that you're offering them. And on that note, if you're interested in working with someone to help you with this, I do currently have very limited spaces, but I am open to working with one more person. So if you are interested, then feel free to drop me an email.